Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 550 based on novel. So let's start. During the speech, the smell of gunpowder in the entire void has reached the point where it is on the verge of triggering, and the fluctuations released by the Holy Primordial Master and the evil stone sword in his hand have made countless people sigh. In the face of this kind of enemy, it seems that no one can shake it except the undead Holy Master and Xiao Yan. Retreat with them. Seeing such a ferocious attack from the other party, Xiao Yan slowly turned his head and said seriously to the undead Holy Master and the others below. The strength and combat effectiveness of this Saint Yuan Lord are too appalling. Even Xiao Yang now needs to go all out, so he can no longer take care of others. The undead Saint Lord and others are already scarred. Even if they stay here, it will not be enough, it's just adding trouble. You. Seeing Xiao Yang's ruthless and indifferent voice, the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace's expression was gloomy and uncertain, and he was full of resentment towards Xiao Yang. This guy actually regards their many coalition forces as fuel bottles. Go, withdraw from this world. Try if you can break through. The three holy clans in the Sea of Reincarnation cannot be dealt with by our strength alone. Go. The undead Holy Master is also a smart person. Looking at Xiao Yang's words in the Sea of Fire, he understood something after weighing it. After all, Xiao Yang's attitude is now quite apprehensive, even if he himself is quite afraid. Since Xiao Yang took the initiative to resign to deal with the Holy Primordial Master, the Undying Holy Master is also willing to retreat with the army. Humph, want to run? No one can escape from here without the consent of the Master. The void is surging, and the Lord Saint Yuan stretched out a pair of white wrists from the black robe and waved the evil stone sword. The void of this world collapsed instantly, and the energy fluctuations containing deadly evil power chased and killed everyone who fled here. And go. Humph. Faced with such an abnormality, Xiao Yang stomped his footsteps heavily, and the endless sea of fire suddenly shrank violently. In the blink of an eye, it converged into a flaming lotus heart, following up like a falling meteor, continuously resisting the latter's attacks. Evil attack. Bang bang bang. A violent voice resounded through the sky, and in the entire void, there were only Xiao Yang and the figure of the Saint Yuan Lord. Does it worth? For some mercenary villains, you put yourself in danger. The pursuit was fruitless. The Saint Yuan Lord simply gave up chasing and killed the undead Saint Lord. Compared with those few, the importance of Xiao Yang is self-evident. However, to the surprise of the Holy Primordial Master, his attack was actually destroyed by Xiao Yang at will. The strength of this guy is also not to be underestimated. Everyone wants something, maybe. Xiao Yang nodded undeniably, but in the depths of his eyes there was a faint glow of extreme fiery color. It has been a long time since I had such a huge pressure, but there is no fear in the depths of my soul, but more joy. The greater the pressure, the greater the rebound. Let's do it. I also really want to see if this descendant of the Xiao clan, who has been mentioned by countless people of our clan, is as brave as the legend. The black robe of the Saint Yuan Lord slowly faded, revealing a very evil face. On the body, there are evil lines engraved around it, and the whole body is as gloomy as an evil rune. As you wish. The power of Holy Flame, the throne of flame. In an instant, Xiao Yang didn't hold back any hands, and once he made a move, the demigod-level fighting skills were directly displayed. Today's Fenju is enough for Xiao Yang to completely perform 2 demigod-level fighting skills. If the 2 attacks have not solved this guy, I am afraid that he can only come up with the real killer. God-killing ruler. Now the crown of Yaroji, the crown of Chang'e, or the successful reincarnation of Lei Lord, already have the capital to rescue the Xiao family. Once the 3 powerhouses in the Sea of Reincarnation are successfully awakened, they will be able to save the plan in a few days. Therefore, the Sea of Reincarnation is now the first battle must be successful no matter what, even if it exposes all of Xiao Yang's trump card. Boom. The dazzling 9-color flame surged out of Xiao Yang's body, and immediately turned into flame energy that filled the sky, building a nearly 1,000-jong flame shrine little by little. In the shrine, the power of sacred flames is spread all over. At the core of the shrine, Xiao Yang sits quietly on the flame seat, looking at the Lord of the Holy Primordial below with a calm demeanor. At this moment, it is as if the Flame King of the world is judging evil. Such power is indeed much stronger than those mercenary villains. Only then can I qualify as my opponent. Endless sword territory, 10,000 extermination evil light. Suddenly, the corner of Lord Sheng Yuan began to whisper some very mysterious and complicated incantations. Just a moment later, the evil stone sword flickered on the palm of his hand, and the whole body was restless, and a bunch of dark rays that cut through the dawn appeared out of thin air. Boom! The two extremely powerful attacks just appeared, and they quietly confronted each other under the tense situation of the two. The void trembled, brilliant flames and jet-black beams scattered randomly. Wherever they went, the void annihilated, and two attacks silently drowned. A mouthful of bright red blood suddenly sprayed out from the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth, and his body stepped back several dozen steps before he stabilized his body. Although the exact strength of this guy is still hovering at the peak of the 8-fold reincarnation level to the half-step 9th level reincarnation level, the evil powerhouse who touches the threshold of the 9-fold reincarnation level is still difficult for Xiao Yang today. Demigods can't handle it. The blood in the body slowly became hot, and a rare fighting spirit permeated my heart. This guy is a real enemy. Is this your trust? After destroying Xiao Yang's demigod fighting skills, Lord Sheng Yuan still had a faint smile on his mouth, as if he was questioning and sneering at Xiao Yang. The strength of the two was still too far behind. It seems that I can only try this. I hope nothing goes wrong. After a while, a crazy idea suddenly emerged from the depths of Xiao Yang's mind, and the moment it emerged, it became a lingering shadow. The source of holy flames given to them by the three women has already been used once. If they are used again, the source of holy flames will be lost at light, and the source of holy flames will be lost in the worst. However, only the fusion of 9-color holy flames is still unable to completely fight against this guy. The only way is to find another way. Since the holy flame can be fused, then the 3 water, fire, and thunder bucket cores in your body that have already reached perfect filling? If it can successfully integrate the power of, it will probably be infinitely close to quasi-divine magic, enough to cause real damage to the Saint Yuan Lord. Since you can fuse holy flame and demon power, why can't you fuse the fighting core? The bucket core is the core of the attribute power. The fusion of the 3 attributes is so powerful that it can command the entire world. If it succeeds, I am afraid that Xiao Yang himself will have an extra life-saving trump card. Even if he loses, Xiao Yang, who has the ruler of killing God, still has the last confidence to kill the Lord of Saint Yuan. Hoo, take a gamble. Looking at the Saint Yuan Lord in the distance, Xiao Yang smiled, and once the crazy thoughts surfaced, they could not be taken back. The Battle of Samsara Sea, which is entrenched in the mysterious area of the Great Thousand World, has already been raging at this time. The periphery of Samsara Sea is shrouded in countless evil dark clouds, with lightning and thunder, as if there is a real storm that is about to come. After Xiao Yang took the initiative to resign to deal with the Holy Primordial Master, the Undying Holy Master led the remaining coalition forces and retreated towards the edge of the Samsara Sea, trying to break through here and go to the center of the human world to bring rescue troop. It's just that when this group of people came to the edge of the Sea of Reincarnation, looking at the airtight evil clouds, fears also surfaced in their hearts. There are countless tombs of reincarnation within the Sea of Reincarnation, which are naturally illuminated with brilliance, but now the passage into and out of the Sea of Reincarnation has already been completely shrouded in countless evil dark clouds. There seems to be some unknown power hidden in these dark clouds. Everyone with seriously injured bodies stepped into the sky of the Sea of Samsara, and looked at the countless evil clouds that completely shrouded this place, and their eyes were slightly loose. Standing under this dark cloud of evil, the damp, cold, and stench filled their perceptions, and a never-ending fear quietly permeated from the depths of their souls. The undead Holy Master stood in the void, and saw these towering evil dark clouds constantly surging. From below, the entire Sea of Reincarnation seemed to be swallowed by dark clouds. The power is definitely not something they can compete with together. Breakthrough. Even if we do our best, we must make a gap here, otherwise our trip will be completely lost here. Kill me. After hesitating for a moment, the undead Holy Master looked at this human purgatory with red eyes, and immediately roared. The whole body was filled with the power of reincarnation in the body, and suddenly shot him away. The dignified Lord of the Endless Flame Alliance is nothing but a false name. So far, what are your last words? In another core battle circle, Master Sheng Yuan looked at Xiao Yang, who was in the Sea of Fire, especially the blood overflowing from the corner of the latter's mouth, which made his smile even more gloomy. This so-called descendant of the Xiao clan does not seem to be as strong as the legends say. Xiao Yang did not respond. The 3 Do cores in his body slowly entrenched in the sea of Do Qi, exuding an unprecedented wave of joy. Under the suppression of Xiao Yang's soul power, they had quietly begun to merge. Fusion takes time. Moreover, the current situation was something Xiao Yang did not expect. After all, he used too much holy flame power in the previous battle with the Shiraji Holy Seat clan, although he then absorbed the power of the entire race. Crack. Seeing Xiao Yang's silent attitude, Lord Sheng Yuan stretched out his Baiji wrist and pinched it quietly against the sea of fire around Xiao Yang. With just such an understatement, the sacred sea of fire that filled the sky was instantly crushed and destroyed. The terrifying power that the latter displayed now made the whole world silent. Xiao Yang's complexion also changed slightly at this time. The powerful strength of the Holy Primordial Master has strengthened his determination to integrate the three-attribute fighting core. Boom! Just when Xiao Yang was hesitating, Lord Sheng Yuan waved the evil stone sword in his hand again, and a huge sword beam suddenly fell off the stone sword, and immediately smashed away at Xiao Yang with the momentum of thunder. The Saint Yuan Lord is obviously not a kind-hearted person, and he wants to completely obliterate Xiao Yang while he is merging with the Do core. All the attention, such as mind, soul power, is almost focused on the fusion of the fighting core in the body, and indeed can only take this sword abruptly. Jianmang called, the void trembled slightly, Xiao Yang's clothes instantly burst open, and on the bronze skin, even with the protection of the scales of the underworld, there were dark scars at this time, which was eye-catching. That kind of pain penetrated deep into his soul, as if his own soul was being exposed unsuspectingly under the eyes of the opponent, being beaten mercilessly by countless scarlet magic whips. Each whipping would make Xiao Yang's body shake. Even with Xiao Yang's current tenacity, facing such heart-pounding torture, he couldn't help but take a deep breath. The attack of the Holy Primordial Lord is even more terrifying than he imagined. Only by looking forward to the fusion of the three-attribute fighting core can obliterate the latter. Almost. The load on the body is getting bigger and bigger. If it goes on like this, it will inevitably suffer a lot of damage, so Xiao Yang starts to meditate in his heart. Fire. The scorching flames began to flicker, and countless flame spots appeared on Xiao Yang's body, surrounding each other directly, and a brilliant flame palace was connected behind his body. In the flame palace, the fire attribute Doha lay quietly in it, continuously sending the fire attribute power to Xiao Yang. Water is coming. Layers of almost transparent water curtains descended from the sky. Under Xiao Yang's control, the countless water liquids in the water curtain easily turned into many crystal clear water droplets, which spread out in all directions, completely surrounding the entire world. Lei came. A grey thunder flashed out from the depths of his eyes, and the lightning flashed rapidly. A thunder heart quietly hibernated in front of his chest, and a group of thunder surging was enough to destroy everything. Bang bang bang. 3 completely different powers hovered around Xiao Yang. There was a terrible pressure in Xiao Yang's sea of fighting chi that was about to explode. His eyes were red, and he suppressed such agitation with just a trace of will in his body. Originally thought that Xiao Yang had reached the point where the lights were exhausted under his own attack, but he never thought that the opponent still had a backhand. But after looking at the 3 kinds of energies with different attributes around Xiao Yang, the face of the master Sheng Yuan also became greedy. Endless sword field, burst. In the face of Xiao Yang's actions, Lord Sheng Yuan's eyes were red, and he suddenly raised the stone sword in his hand. The evil stone sword suddenly shattered and turned into strands of turbid energy, which flew towards Xiao Yang little by little. The void of this world is not only filled with endless evil breath, but now with the blessing of the evil stone sword, the void collapses in an instant. The evil power turns into a trickle. Like a monstrous demon, the sea surrounded and killed Xiao Yang little by little. In the face of the Holy Primordial Master's first attack, Xiao Yang's slender body swayed slightly, and a miserable smile hung on the corner of his mouth. In the palm of his hand, a light spot containing the 3 attributes of water, fire, and thunder beat slightly, like a heart. The rhythmic beating is full of inexplicable coercion. Let's use this move to decide the outcome. Xiao Yang sneered, and then flicked his fingers. The 3 attribute heart spun slightly, and swept towards the position of the Saint Yuan Lord in an understatement. Boom. At the moment when the 3 attribute heart and the evil trickle collided, an indescribable energy wave exploded, and the entire world was completely distorted at this time. The boundless power of the 3 attributes scoured and destroyed everything in this world. Even the terrifying attack from the Lord of the Holy Spirit actually slowly disappeared under its attack at this time. The evil forces such as the billowing demonic energy and the evil trickle were evaporated little by little. The 3 forces of water curtain, flame, and thunder blasted towards the position of the Lord of Saint Yuan like a surging river. At this moment, the pride in the eyes of the Lord Saint Yuan disappeared without a trace, and a fear of death poured into his heart. The fusion of the 3 attributes of the fighting core made the face of the Lord of Sheng Yuan completely moved, and the hideous face was entangled in the sky, watching the three groups of dazzling energy with different attributes surrounding him, and said gloomily, "I can't think of you except Xiangyang, and such terrifying means. But even if you defeat this seat, in this battle of the Sea of Reincarnation, it will only be your great thousand worlds who will lose." The frantic voice was filled with unbridled arrogance, but his power was already approaching its limit at this moment. In the face of the sarcastic words of the Saint Yuan Lord, Xiao Yang slowly exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, and immediately the power of the soul filled the entire void, controlling the three forces surrounding the Saint Yuan Lord, and could completely obliterate the latter at any time. The formidable power after the fusion of the three attribute du corps just now killed the Saint Yuan Lord with the strongest blow. Shiraji Saint Clan, he used the power of the whole family to forge his status, and the Saint Clan behind you is probably the same. Although it is powerful outside the realm, countless creatures in the world are also born with geniuses. Xiao Yang seemed to be talking about something. As the voice surged, the three energies became more and more intense, and vaguely reached a critical point that was about to explode completely. In order to destroy Xiao Yang, the Lord of Saint Yuan crushed the evil stone sword to pieces. That thing was its origin. Now that the stone sword was broken and disappeared, the aura in his body was already weakened. The fury of his body left only the demonic energy gushing out from his skin, trying to break through Xiao Yang's seal, lock. However, Xiao Yang, who had gathered the power of the three attributes, had soared to a whole new level in combat power. No matter how the latter struggled, he could never break free. Xiao Yang's smile became more and more calm, and the crisis became more and more serious. It seems to be aware of the destructive fluctuations of the three groups of power around the body. The next moment, the Lord of the Holy Primordial roared wildly, and the panic and fear took over the whole face. At his level, he can stand at the peak of the world. If this when the time comes, everything will be in vain. Water, fire, thunder, kill. At that time, Xiao Yang's huge soul power began to flicker, and the three groups of power that controlled the fusion instantly merged, enough to set off any terrible ripples that destroy the world. The dots of light roared across the sky, and in an instant, the human body of the Saint Yuan Lord was completely torn apart. After the human body was shattered, an extremely small black flame jumped from it, and it was still shrinking. Obviously, this was the true origin of the Saint Yuan Lord. An extremely miserable roar resounded, and then the flames quickly dimmed, and there were traces of complete shattering at any time. A group of ants, sooner or later, will completely worship the feet outside our territory. Susu. In the void, the maddened roaring sound did not dissipate for a long time, but under the shocking explosion of the fusion of the three energies, the commander of the Holy Clan was also cut off by Xiao Yang, turned into nothingness, and remained in the sea of reincarnation forever. The fusion of the three attribute bucket core is even more powerful than the fusion of the 17-color holy flames, but even if it is fused with the bucket core, it is still unable to break through the last part of the conjunctiva in the bucket core, like the highest level of the bucket core. It's not Dunu, there is something more terrifying. After the crisis was resolved, Xiao Yang's mouth sprayed hot blood again, and he used the three attribute Do core fusion, which was no less difficult than the fusion of Saint Yang. At the critical moment just now, the fusion of Xiao Yang's Do Qi in the sea was obviously unimaginable by ordinary people. Torture. At this moment, the world here is in disarray and shattered, and the entire void is filled with three kinds of abnormally violent energies: water, fire, and thunder. Who? After solving the two strong saints one after another, the catastrophe in the Sea of Samsara should be enough to calm down. Next, just wait for the three of Zuna to reincarnate completely successfully. Sitting cross-legged, he took out some medicinal pills from Naji to cure all the medicine, and slowly repaired the wounds in his body. Get cash, follow VX Public account, book friends base camp. You can also receive cash. Just thinking like this in his heart, Xiao Yang still had a lingering uneasiness in his heart, as if there was some kind of frightening aura of power in the depths of the Sea of Reincarnation. When the aura in the body recovered 7 to 88, Xiao Yang got up again and rushed towards the location of the aura of the undead Holy Master and others. When Xiao Yang reunited with this group of guys again, this group of thousands of coalition forces, which had lost more than half of their losses, was on stage. A puzzling disaster. Cannibalism. Among the remaining coalition forces today, there are only about 100 people, and all of them are seriously injured, but some of them have scarlet eyes, some have no masters, and some are full of sticky devil energy, and the coalition forces, the mentally normal people in the center, were killed together. The sound of burning and roaring resounded throughout the world, lingering for a long time. Among the crowd of cannibals, especially the 5 powerhouses around the eightfold reincarnation level, the 3 of them seemed to be controlled by evil forces, and they are joining forces to counterattack the Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace, and the Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace is losing ground. And that undead Holy Master actually swooped towards the outermost endless sky of reincarnation, his body shuttled among the evil clouds, as if he was looking for something. "What are you doing?" Xiao Yang shouted. This scene really refreshed Xiao Yang's cognition. Why are these guys being controlled? Just as Xiao Yang roared, in the void of this heaven and earth, rainwater was dripping from the evil clouds little by little. Although the speed and quantity were very rare, it really existed. "Xiao Yang, someone is controlling the rain. He tried to control us with this venom-tainted storm. Their purpose is probably to destroy the entire sea of Samsara." At this moment, the Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace forcibly repelled the three powerhouses around the 8th level of reincarnation and shouted at Xiao Yang. The strength of the 5 of them was clearly squandered when they dealt with the Holy Primordial Master, but now that they are under control, their strength seems to be filling up little by little. The more you fight, the more courageous you are. That kind of power is inexhaustible like an endless abyss. Rain, rain, it's rain. There are definitely some unknown secrets here. Don't let the controlled figures touch the rain is the source of their strength. At this moment, the Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace turned pale, and suddenly roared at the coalition forces who were fighting to the death behind him. "Holy flame, expel. Holy flames can't get rid of this control." Xiao Yang slowly walked past a controlled coalition powerhouse, looking at the latter with a face full of surprise. At the wound on his body, there are now countless snakes, insects, rats, ants, and all kinds of poisonous things crawling around. It seems to be healing the wound, assimilating his life, and devouring all his mind. This kind of power is very evil. Even Xiao Yang's holy flame felt a little helpless for a while. It seems that those poisons can even be swallowed by holy flame. A black shadow quickly fell from the evil cloud, and there was a very strong wind along the way, as if it was shot down from the evil cloud by some force. "The Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace, something has fallen from the evil clouds. It looks like that. It seems to be a person." In the crowd, some sharp-eyed people discovered something and shouted hurriedly. At this time, in order to deal with the controlled enemy in front of them, they were already overwhelmed, and they could only pin their last hope on him. "No! Undead Holy Master!" Seeing the old man's shadow falling from the evil clouds like an ant, Xiao Yang's voice became serious again. At this time, the undead Holy Master, surrounded by a gloomy death light and an evil halo, seemed to be engaged in some kind of very fierce battle, and there were scars all over his body. In order to break through the Sea of Samsara, the undead Holy Master entered the evil cloud layer alone and tried to defeat the 100-footed evil emperor. "Are you okay?" After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Yang still took the lead to save the undead Holy Master. I'm fine, but this time, the Sea of Samsara may be doomed." There was a rare despair in the old eyes of the undead Holy Master. Even if he stepped into the evil clouds with his strength at the 8th level of reincarnation, he did not find the mastermind behind the rain control, and he was more like him. Clowns are generally teased by it. This time, the great 1,000 allied forces tried to crusade the 3 holy clans, and the plan from the very beginning was a joke. Great joke. There is someone in the evil cloud, who is also the real mastermind of this reincarnation sea catastrophe, I beg. The undead Holy Master looked at Xiao Yang's unwavering gaze, and immediately opened his mouth without giving up. "How many?" Xiao Yang nodded lightly. "Just one. He is the head of the 3 holy clans, the 100-footed evil emperor, and the strength of the half-step 9-fold reincarnation level." The undead Holy Master stared at Xiao Yang with his old eyes, looking forward to the latter's actions. It seemed that at the edge of life and death, he could only pin his last hope on Xiao Yang. "Xiao Yang, I implore you to take action and save the living beings from the cemetery of the undying holy. Once the Sea of Samsara is destroyed, many of the reincarnation powerhouses inhabiting it will be destroyed in body and spirit, and we will also be destroyed in ashes, and no one will survive." After a while, looking at Xiao Yang's calm face, the voice of the undead Holy Master choked up. "Maybe many people are worried about the disappearance of the Xiao family, but one day, this matter will come to light." Xiao Yang watched the evil clouds in the sky continue to stir, and the evil raindrops dripped from it, and immediately muttered to himself, "With this leap, I am afraid that I will face an unprecedented crisis of death. But do I still have a choice? At this time, someone has to stand up, isn't it? But I only represent myself, and I don't want to have anything to do with the center of the human world. I hope you are clear." At the end of the conversation, a frantic wave suddenly appeared in Xiao Yang's pupils. "I am sorry." Looking at the slender man in front of him, the surviving Great Thousand Allied forces forcibly held back the sour tears in his pupils, and an unprecedented sense of admiration rose in his heart. I can't guarantee that I can deal with him, I can only delay the time as much as possible. Deep in the sea of reincarnation, there is the reincarnation tomb of my great elder of the Xiao clan. If I lose, it will be our last hope. Remember to protect it no matter what. Good reincarnation tomb. Xiao Yang solemnly walked up to the undead Holy Master and said in a low voice, the Shueiji Holy Throne clan completely destroyed his own hands, but the two remaining Holy Clan Alliance forces were definitely a force that should not be underestimated. The Great Thousand Allied Army is simply a drop in the bucket. Why do you? Feeling Xiao Yang's strange tone, in fact, it was more like Tuogu's intention, the eyes of the undead Holy Master slowly trembled, and he was at a loss for a while. I don't trust any of them. Let's get started. Xiao Yang slowly raised his head, the holy flames flickered all over his body, and burst into the evil clouds little by little. Many of the coalition powerhouses who were fighting hard below raised their heads, looked at Xiao Yang's posture of being alone, and keenly noticed something, and their hearts were filled with respect. Xiao Yuzhu is very kind. They naturally knew that Xiao Yang was going to challenge the 100-footed evil emperor alone, which would certainly delay the coming of the storm, but the strongest of the three holy clans, Xiao Yang's eightfold reincarnation level strength, would is it his opponent? Whether he succeeds or not, at least he has taken this crucial step. His status is already above our many coalition forces, isn't he? The undead Holy Master looked at this group of thousands of coalition forces that could be swallowed and controlled by the rain at any time, and couldn't help but raise a touch of worship. This is the people of the Xiao family. Even if the abyss in front of them is abyss, they will jump into it without hesitation. Xiao Yang has already set off, he naturally has his plans, he will not care about the life and death of these thousands of coalition forces, but he must buy time for the reincarnation of the three women. Even if he does his best, he must build a magnificent wall to cover it. Weatherproof. This battle is not just for the reincarnation sea, but also for love and protection. After Xiao Yang's action, the evil clouds above the sea of reincarnation seemed to sense that someone was approaching, and under the control of a certain force, they began to surging strangely. There were lightning and thunder in the clouds. An unprecedented disaster is about to pour out and come. Oh! One after another, miserable cries, hums, and angry voices converged a little bit from the evil cloud. Such a shocking roar is originally a kind of torture. At the moment when its sound resounded through the sky, inside the entire reincarnation sea, the reincarnation tombs of the strong men who had already fallen into reincarnation were slumbering, and thousands of sores were easily pierced by them. 100 holes. It was an extremely evil storm, and even on the eve of its arrival, such heart-pounding fluctuations erupted. The Samsara Sea, which was just occupied by the evil race from outside the territory, is now about to face a real storm. Even if it defeats the opponent, the Samsara Sea after such a catastrophe will be beyond recognition. Evil forces climbed, and the sky and earth that have been infected will not have any life breath. The reign of evil will annihilate here, engulf and obliterate countless creatures in the sea of reincarnation, and weaken the overall strength of the Great Thousand World. Xiao Yang's speed was getting faster and faster, and the light released by the holy flames all over his body gradually became dim. The whole body was pitch black, as if being in a real eternal night zone. There was no time, no energy of heaven and earth, and there was only an endless silence. 100-footed evil emperor, show up, I know you are here. When his body was completely submerged in the dark void of the evil clouds, Xiao Yang let out a light breath, then closed his eyes, and called out to this evil cloud of heaven and earth in a flat tone. I have to say, I admire your courage. As Xiao Yang's voice fell, in the dim cloud world, a huge skeleton covered with blood-red light was standing in the void, slowly twisting his body, making a burst of harsh sounds. It was a blood-red centipede skeleton. Under the huge body, there was a laughter similar to that of a human woman. At this time, this laughter hurt Xiao Yang's soul like a **** of death, causing his body to tremble uncontrollably. Into the evil clouds, you must cut off or restrain the bi-legged evil emperor's control of the poisonous rain and prevent the poisonous rain from coming. In Xiao Yang's mind, he still recalled the last command of the undead Holy Master. It was obvious that such precious information was only discovered by him after his death. The void began to surge. As soon as such a behemoth appeared, his body twisted, as if he had cast some kind of demonic magic. Countless black creatures quickly hibernated in the void, and a huge number of evil creatures gathered here. Like locusts all over the sky, wherever they pass, no grass grows, and even the void is eroded. In the void, there were bursts of harsh sounds being gnawed by it, the huge centipede body was sheltered by it, and drops of rainwater emerged from the gnawed void. I also admire your courage and courage. Looking at this, one of the most powerful people in the Holy Clan, Xiao Yang's eyes were particularly solemn. Even if the other party didn't release any breath, just like this made his body tremble, and even his soul radiated countless endless fears. In the huge body of the 100-footed evil emperor, there are countless evil poisons attached to it. Through the gloomy body and the liquid, one can vaguely see the center of the body. There is a skeleton throne made of blood-colored skeleton bones stacked on it. With a blood-colored breath. The 100-foot evil emperor, the biggest hidden danger of this reincarnation sea catastrophe. And beside such a blood-colored skeleton, there is a water altar. The liquid in the water altar is turbid, and it is as terrifying as deadly venom. This is the entirety of the poisonous rain, even if it is only a few meters in size, but if it is completely cast down here, the entire reincarnation will be completely gone. Give me the source of holy flame in your body, maybe I can consider leaving you a whole corpse. Huge centipede skeletons surged, and the tormented gnawing sound resounded throughout the void. The monstrous army formed by millions of evil poisons is enough to keep Xiao Yang here completely. As soon as it surged, it was like an irresistible mountain, constantly suppressing Xiao Yang's power, trying to eat away all of Xiao Yang's vitality little by little. Put your troops out of my Dacian region, maybe we won't kill them all outside the region. In the face of such severe oppression, Xiao Yang slowly opened his eyes, but in the pupils that were slightly deep in the past, there was an awe-inspiring wave of evil intent at this time. It's really a tiring fellow, with the same disposition as the old immortals of your Xiao family. However, a descendant of the Xiao family who can speak as fast as he can't protect this world now. In the First World War, you sacrificed many strong people to protect this world. Now that the Sea of Samsara is destroyed, what are you fighting against us? The 100-legged evil emperor, sitting cross-legged on the throne inside the centipede skeleton body, smiled. Do you want to cut off the connection between yourself and this poisonous rain that you carefully planned? It's too whimsical. Now that everything is ready, as long as this poisonous rain comes as promised, the entire Sea of Samsara will be completely destroyed here. The existence of the centipede's poisonous body is a natural defensive barrier, which makes the half-step 9-layer reincarnation level invincible. What can the descendants of the Xiao tribe, the Lord of the Endless Flame Alliance, do? The strength of the mere 8-fold reincarnation level, even with the blessing of the Holy Flame, even the poisonous body of the centipede cannot be defeated, let alone confronting himself head-on? Whether it is Xiao Yang or the countless tombs of reincarnation in the Sea of Reincarnation, there is no need to do it by yourself. All you need to do is to completely disperse the poisonous water in the water altar, and the poisonous rain will fall completely, and this world will instantly turn into a real one. The barren land. At that time, all the voices that exist in the Sea of Reincarnation will be dead, and he is the biggest hero who has made great contributions to the evil races outside the realm, and the reward he receives is tantamount to helping him step into the real 9-fold reincarnation. Everything is under his control. The sneering tone spread, and the lingering pitch-black wind whipped the void mercilessly. Even the last ray of holy flame on Xiao Yang's body was completely swallowed up by the army of poisonous insects, and the entire world was completely turned to darkness. The poisonous centipede body was still twisting its huge body. It seemed that this group of millions of evil troops was controlled by the body, but knowing this situation, Xiao Yang had nothing to do now, not to mention the poisonous body of the centipede. The level of sturdiness, just the million-level army of poisonous insects, made Xiao Yang constrained. Not long after, a very harsh magical sound was heard again from the centipede's body, and circles of evil tides flickered between the world, trying to launch a final attack on Xiao Yang. After the poisonous rain in the water altar, there is still such a huge evil army, let alone the reincarnation sea. If this guy is left alone, I am afraid that one world will be completely destroyed by it. Are you powerless? No, because there are still demons in the body. The last resort is to kill the gods. Xiao Yang raised his head and looked at the dark world in front of him. The army of poisonous insects was so dense that it turned into a dark desert of death. The desert of death passed by, and the void shattered and collapsed. It seemed that it was the end of the apocalypse. View below. If mortals see such a shocking scene, I am afraid they will be haunted by nightmares all day long, and the despair that is almost suffocating has nowhere to vent. The reason why Xiao Yang dared to step into this place is not because of the great courage of sacrificing himself for others, but because of the devil, because of the protection. Dacian world is already sick. Since the end of the First World War, The Xiao family has been ill after disappearing inexplicably. The pattern of the Great Thousand World is not in the hands of enlightened people, but in the hands of those who are mercenary. Since the world is already sick, why do you need to pity others? All he needs to do is endless slaughter. It seems that at this moment, only endless killing can fill the anger in my heart. The emergence of demon power bit by bit caused Xiao Yang's thoughts and minds to be misled by coincidence. But it doesn't matter. The demon bloodline that had been silent for a long time in the whole body once again began to boil and start to burn in a powerful posture. The radiance of the devil once again descended on this dim world. This time, the brilliance of the devil is no longer curious about the world like a baby, but more like a playful and naughty child, full of extreme anger and greed, trying to obliterate and devour this world. This video will end here.